The burials, of course, have drawn people to Egypt for a very long period of time, and some of the sketchy roots of archaeology are in Egypt as people looted tombs, but they were also looted in antiquity, so don't think that it was a new thing that was being done by Europeans. The ancient Egyptians looted tombs just as well. Included rich goods, and these were all things that were considered necessary for Pharaoh to have an afterlife. So we have the canopic jars right here, and these were the 4 sons of Horus who protected important internal organisms. So we have Kabesanouf, which is the falcon, and we can see, where's my cursor? There we go, the falcon there. Then we have Duamatuf, the jackal, Hapi, the baboon, and then we always have Mseti, which is a human. So we have liver, we have lungs, we have the stomach, and we have the intestines. Bastet is considered one of the domestic deities. We often have lots of figurines of people, which we believe represent servants to serve Pharaoh in the afterlife. And we see a lot of different murals depicting various things of Egyptian life, and we can learn quite a bit about Egyptian life from them. Now, mummification, there are 2 basic types. There's anthropogenic, which is intentional, so humans are actually intentionally mummifying, and then we have spontaneous or natural mummification. Now, some of the reasons for mummification are that the spirit remains with the body, so it's important to make sure the body is preserved. It can be seen as a form of political power to show how important somebody is. They can also be war trophies, not necessarily with Egypt here, but there are other places where there's intentional mummification, like Egypt, Europe, and South America. But in some places, like headhunters would mummify heads as a war trophy. We often find mummified animals, so you can see this baboon here and a dog here. And some people have interpreted this as a way to appease spirits, also to represent the ability to actually do some hunting in the afterlife. You can read about the process online. I'm not going to go through it all here, but it took about 40 days for the actual body to become mummified. They would kind of wash it, take out all the internal organs, and then just pretty much bury it in this natron, which is a salt, for about 40 days. And afterwards, you would get a nice mummified individual. And then people would be usually rubbed with spices and oils. They would be stuffed, usually with linen, to make them look a little bit more lifelike. Faces were often painted. The body would then be put into a coffin and placed into a sarcophagus. Now, in Egypt, it's interesting. Everybody wanted to get mummified, so we find the very top-end mummifications, of course, reserved for royalty, like Ramses here. And then we do find what are kind of referred to as the bargain basement mummifications, where it wasn't done very well, and so the body decays much faster. But everybody did want to be mummified. Then we have our hieroglyphs. So this is the first, or one of the first formal writing systems in the world. Here's a nice picture of some of the hieroglyphs. And hieroglyph simply means sacred carving from the Greek. It's used from about 5100 to 1604 BP. It's a mixture of signs and symbols, and some of them are actual syllables in the spoken language. Now, this was first deciphered by Jean-François Champollion, and you can see a little picture of him here. He was a linguistic genius, and he cracked the code using the Rosetta Stone, which was found in 1799 by Napoleon's troops, and it's actually a text which is a tribute to the pharaoh Ptolemy V. The reason that Champollion was able to decipher this is that there were 3 languages on this particular stone. There was Greek, which Champollion could read, and then there were 2 forms of ancient Egyptian. There was both the Demotic, which is kind of a popular cursive script, and then you have the hieroglyphic or the sacred carvings. So he could go from his native French to the Greek, and he could translate that, then use the Greek to translate the Demotic, and then the Demotic translated the hieroglyphic. So again, this